Hey everyone, today we are going to see what is Kerberos and its architecture. And for that, first I get into the Google for Kerberos, and here you can see the definition of Kerberos. So Kerberos is a computer network authentication protocol that works on the basis of tickets to allow nodes communicating over a non-secure network to prove their identity to one another in a secure manner. So here are some of the key terms that you need to take a note of. One is this computer network authentication, which means you are not passing the credential over the network, but it's a different manner that I will show you in the Kerberos architecture. And other thing is, which is, it works based on the tickets. So using the Kerberos tickets, you are able to authenticate to the different machines and yeah, so that's all about this Kerberos, the definitions. Before we get into the Kerberos architecture, I wanted to show you some analogy which I believe will help you to understand the basis of Kerberos. Let's say you are going to an amusement park, okay, and in the entrance you have to show your identity and you have to pay some amount of money so that they will issue you some ticket. It's, you can call it as a, the main ticket, and that is the step one which I have shown here. And later you are using this main ticket to get the ticket for the other service. So for that you are going to the other place, which is the service ticket counter, and there, by showing your main ticket, you are getting the ticket for the other service which I have mentioned here. Like, you want to go and enjoy the ride in the giant wheel or roller coaster, and you want to have some food, and for that also the ticket service ticket counter will issue you the separate ticket. And later, once you have the ticket, you'll go to the respective service and you can enjoy your ride. So I hope this analogy will help you to understand the basis of Kerberos, and I will get into the architecture, and wherein I will explain clearly what are the different steps which are involved. Yeah, I hope the analogy which I have shown you in the previous slide will help you to understand the basics of Kerberos. So now we get into the actual Kerberos architecture. So the Kerberos in the Kerberos architecture, you can see we have this key distribution center. So inside the KDC we have different components. One you call KDC database, authentication server, ticket granting server. So what the KDC database will have is that it will have the user and service principal, which means it will have the username and its credential and the service name and also its credential. So if you see, I have given the LDAP and AD, which is connected to the KDC database, which means let's say in organization, in Active Directory, they will have all the user details and its credential. So all the details from the AD or LDAP will get synced to this KDC database, so that so the later the user from the Active Directory, if it is requesting for any Kerberos ticket, it is able to identify from this KDC database. Okay, and like I have shown in the analogy, there are three-step process, and here also it resembles the same. You can see like we have the three-step process. I've just named it as 1, 2, 3. And let's start with the step one, where the user want to. So here is the user, and he want to access the different service, okay, in a distributed network, or I mean any other service that you wanted to access. And here I have named it as service 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's say the user wants to access service 1. For that, first it will send the request to the authentication server. So what the authentication server will do, it will connect to the KDC database and it will look for this user details, and if it finds that user, the authentication server will start creating a ticket which is called TGT, the ticket granting ticket, and this ticket granting ticket will be sending to the user, but it won't send in a kind of simple format, but rather it will be encrypted with this user credential. Okay, so here one thing you can notice, the user is not sending his password directly over the network to the authentication server. Rather, he will try to decrypt the message which has been sent by the authentication server. Okay, so once he is able to decrypt the message, he will get the ticket granting ticket. Now the ticket granting ticket has to send to the ticket granting server. So again, the user will not send this TGT as such to the ticket granting server. Rather, it has to be encrypted with some key. So, which key the user will be using is the key which would have sent by the authentication server before. So, with that key, what this user will do, it will encrypt the TGT and it will send it to the ticket granting server. Now, the ticket granting server should be able to decrypt that message which has been sent by the user, and later it will create the service ticket for which the user is requesting for. Okay, the service ticket again will not be sent as such, but rather it would be encrypted uh, with the same key which has been sent by the authentication server to the user. So it will encrypt the the service ticket to the user, so that the user should be able to decrypt. Now, for the user to communicate with service um, in an encrypted manner, he needs some key. Okay, so this time who will send the key? The other key to the user is TGS. Okay, so the TGS along with the service ticket, he will send some other key which the user will use to um, encrypt or decrypt the messages when he is talking to the service. Okay, so here the user gets the service ticket. Now the service ticket has to be sent to the service in order to access the service. So the user will not send the service ticket as such. Rather, he will encrypt the service ticket with the other key which has been sent by the ticket granting server. And later, no, after it is encrypted, he will send it to the service. The service should be able to decrypt the message which has been sent by the user, and later it will provide the service to the user. So here are the three-step process which looks the similar of what we have seen in the analogy before. I hope you are able to understand the process behind the Kerberos authentication, and I will see you in the next video with other topics. Thank you.